Jillian, stop breathing into the mic.
Sorry.
Jillian just gave birth to a little mucus monster.
My son, Gerald.
She's not doing too great.
I've been smoking 12 packs a day for 25 years, so it all finally caught up to me.
Those good old-fashioned American Spirits, unfiltered. Brought to you by American Spirits.
With menthol. Enjoy the crisp menthol when you smoke. American Spirits.
So I look over and she's hacking out a lung, and I just see like a grape-sized ball of phlegm land on her
I
sweatshirt
thought
sleeve.
I was spitting up for a second. I was like, oh my God, like just so much saliva. And I like put my sweatshirt sleeve to my mouth, and there he was staring back at me with his father's eyes.
So do you want to explain kind of how this all devolved, or
Yes.
maybe don't do that?
Sorry, I can't help it. So last Sunday at the gym, I felt like a little twang in my muscles. And I thought like, okay, whatever, like a few days rest, it'll be fine. And it did start to get better. But then my wonderful husband got me sick. It is not COVID. We did test for it.
It's a new breed of
Yeah.
something else.
This is mad bird disease from Yoshi.
She found, okay, long story short, she found Yoshi giving Marco head.
Right. And I was like, well, that's kind of fucked up because normally she gives me head, but I guess I'm okay with her taking turns. Like, it's only right for her to show us both respect.
Right, and it's 2020. Like, we're progressive. We're open to different relationship setups. If you're down with polygamy and bestiality at the same time, we're not going to judge you.
Yeah. So, I said, hey, it's my turn. Give me that pocket bird see.
Give me that bird head.
Give me that bird head. And sure enough, I got whatever sickness Marco had, and I'm not down with the sickness because it hit me so much worse than it hit Marco. Because I was telling Lauren, I'm like, I haven't been sick in so long because, everyone's wearing masks and shit, and like that's like been a benefit of the pandemic is like, oh, like the common cold isn't going around as much, at least like in my experience. Like I wasn't getting sick, and I feel like now the common cold's like, oh bitch, I'm making a comeback.
It's been fucking waiting for this.
Yeah, seriously. So that motherfucker hit me like a goddamn Mack truck, and so I had been like coughing and everything, which made like the rib injury worse. I had been feeling like, I don't know, I felt like a little bit better, and I was like, I need to like be active because I hadn't fucking left my apartment in a long time because I'd been sick. So I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. So yesterday I went and I was on the rowing machine, which I learned very quickly, you shouldn't do that with this kind of like rib injury. And I felt a fucking crack in my ribs and like
between your cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was separate.
Well, there was also some crack in my nose, you know what I mean? But that's like a whole separate other story. So I felt this crack and like immediately could not breathe without there being a super sharp pain. And I just couldn't take like a full breath. So then you start like panicking and you're like, oh my God. So I went to the bathroom and I was like processing what the fuck had just happened. And I went to go tell the instructor. And, like, what?
She's just sitting on the fucking closed toilet seat, heavy breathing in the Orange Theory bathroom.
Yeah.
The fucking walls closing in. Just
the lights flickering. Yeah. So I like went to go tell the instructor what had just happened. I was like, it's fine. I'm not going to cry.
Dude.
Like, it's just, objectively, that's just a thing that happened. And the second I opened my mouth, I was like, I hurt my ribs on the rowing machine. And I seriously like could not breathe right.
Her response fucking killed me though. Like
I know. Well, so she was really nice. She's like, okay, like go sit down. She was like making sure I was okay.
She's like, shut the fuck up. It happens all the time. You don't need to cry about it.
Yeah. How about you stop being a pussy? No days off, bitch. Get the fuck back on the machine. So she was nice and she kept like checking up on me. And I think she thought that I was maybe going to come back in and like finish the workout, which like wasn't gonna fucking happen.
You're like crying on the rowing machine.
I know, like every pull I take, I'm like I'm like, yeah, no days off.
Your tears are fueling like the fucking water in the machine.
The grind never stops. The grind being my cartilage grinding together. So she I was like, I'm actually gonna leave, I think. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, are you like crying and upset because you can't finish your workout today? And I was like, yeah, that's the reason. Not because I thought I fractured a rib.
Not because my spine is snapped in half.
Yeah, Jesus. So
I'm upset because I'm not gonna get as swole as I wanted to.
I know. I'm not gonna fucking get my gains in. The only thing I'm gaining is trauma and emotional damage. But
you're gaining a fucking collection to your scoliosis situation.
Oh my God,
just
dude.
Another feature.
Yeah. So I went to urgent care and they did an X-ray, which I did see my scoliosis, so that was kind of cool. But it's not fractured. It just fucking hurts. Like I have a muscle strain. It's called an intercostal muscle strain. And yeah.
Is that because we're in California?
That's right, dude. Aww.
She's got one of the intercostal muscle strands, dude. Oh my God.
If I was in Michigan when this happened, it would have been a Midwestern muscle strain. Or not fucking Midwestern. Is it the Midwest?
I don't even know what state you said. They all sound the same.
Yeah, whatever. It's all the same. Like anything in between California and Florida is the same to me. Anyway, I like literally can barely move without it hurting, and plus like being sick on top of it is not fucking helping. So
well, and then the guy at the urgent care was like, oh, have you been coughing a lot? And you're like, bitch, no. This was because I was working out super fucking hard. And
yeah.
He's like, actually
I went too hard in the paint. So the x-ray technician like came in. I hadn't said anything to him about being sick, and he was like, oh, are you coughing too hard? And I was like, no, but now I realize that has not been helping me.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Wah. Wah. I feel like we were talking about this last night, like how this was just kind of like an inevitability because I am so new to working out, and I feel bad saying this, but my muscles are just not fucking used to it. And
I feel bad saying it. I mean, it's a scientific fact.
Yeah, I'm out of shape. I'm a lazy motherfucker.
You're a wobbly piece of shit.
Yeah. I'm a noodle-armed, flabby-abbed bitch. So
windy spined free.
Literally. And also like I was reading like posture has shit to do with it, and obviously being sick. Because like people can get this injury just from being sick and coughing.
Yeah. And you were slumped over in bed.
Yeah, I was trying to give myself head a lot, which like definitely didn't help. So
slumped in bed trying to give myself head. It didn't work. I broke my spine.
Marco made this comment. He's like, well, you are getting older now and this type of stuff just happens. I was
You're
like
25, my guy.
Well, he wasn't saying it like you're old. It was just like, you're active now.
It's time to start writing your will.
Yeah, you old fuck. Pick out your retirement home, bitch. But it's like, I'm like, oh, fuck, he's right. Like, I am active now. Like, I have not really been an active person my whole life. And now that I'm going to the gym and I'm roller skating, like, I have injuries that happen. And, like,
it's kind of insane that going through your entire life of not really having, like, a long-standing period of, like, going to a gym, or you don't really ever play a sport.
Yeah, no, I hate it.
You danced a little bit, but, like, throwing yourself into fucking roller skating, like trying to roll around on 8 wheels.
Shoes with wheels.
And shoes with wheels. And that being the first thing you do.
I feel like, yeah, like
You're
it's
kind of an
inevitable,
idiot.
right?
I'm just gonna be honest. You're kind of a dumb piece of shit. Why would
I
you
was
do that?
asking for it.
Yeah.
No, it's like
That's a victim blame.
all of the injuries that I would have gotten over the years are now just catching up to me, like cumulatively. They're like, okay, well, she missed this one on her 14th birthday, so time
Yeah.
to really give it to her now.
Within the span of a year, the amount of injuries we've had cumulatively. I also have some brain damage, unrelated. Roller skating is one of the highest rates of injuries per like sport I've ever had. And don't believe the bullshit. You'll read articles online. It's like skating is actually one of the safest things you could do.
I know.
And
It's like, it's so good for your knees. It's like,
sure.
no, it's not. Not when you get bursitis.
Yeah, bursitis on your kneecap so bad that you can't fucking give good head anymore.
I know. God, I mean, really, that was actually just God nerfing me because I was so good at it that he was like, oh, listen, you got to take it down a notch.
Well,
like,
and look what happened now, because Marco turned to your bird to get his needs met, and now
we got fucking mad bird disease.
Yeah.
I mean, God.
So, if anything, we have skating to blame for all of our
For everything.
for everything. Because when we first started, skating requires like a general base level of fitness that is just required to do basic shit.
Yeah.
And now that you're like getting into the habit of being active on a regular basis, I feel like skating is going to be easier for you in
I think
that
so
way.
too.
Because you have to have a certain level of strength. I
Yeah,
guess.
and that's how I kind of looked at it too. Which was a big motivator for me to get to the gym because I feel like a lot of the stuff in skating that I have issues with is because of a lack of like a core strength. Like the other day,
Yeah.
I held a plank for 30 seconds.
You're like, for 30 minutes.
Yeah, for 30 hours. Which was like so new for me. I was so proud of myself. I was like, I've never done that before.
You're
and
there.
also opening jars is
Oh.
easier for me. I just go around to grocery stores opening jars just because I can now.
I'd like to picture you doing your 30-hour plank like at Orange Theory, and they're like, "Ma'am, we're closing." The janitor's fucking
Like, I'm
sweeping
not
up in
done.
the corner. The lights are off.
They're mopping like over my body.
You just have like a Jillian shaped pool of sweat underneath you. Like, I gotta make it 1 more hour. Planks are
The
weirdly
grind never stops.
what?
The grind never stops.
Planks are weirdly the easiest form of abs for me to do because I don't like having to sit up and strain my neck. I just had a flashback of I must have been in like high school, coming home from college or whatever. But I remember thinking about like the idea of someone doing sit-ups into sucking someone's dick.
Oh.
And I don't know why. I'd never done anything sexual. Literally, my first sexual encounters in life were in college. Like freshman year, I had my first kiss. It all kind of snowballed from
And it was
there.
with me.
Right. We shared a really romantic time. Jillian bought me dinner. It was great. But
I know how to treat my ladies right.
have you ever done sit-up head? It's a great workout, and it really satisfies your partner. That's all I'm going to say. Comment down below if you've tried sit-up head.
Sit up, head.
Sit up head. Getting my abs with my sit up head. Cum on my face and sweat on my titties.
I use cum as a after workout protein shake. It's like a reward.
I do want to know what people's weirdest fucking sexcapades are. Like, what's like the weirdest
Like, what do you mean
pose?
by weird though?
Like pose. Like, what's the
Oh,
most
the weirdest
creative
pose.
fucking? Yeah, like you're doing cartwheel fucking. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Where someone is like
Kama
69.
Sutra type shit.
Someone is 69 cartwheeling across their bedroom.
Oh my god, the amount of strength that would take. Like,
Why do I feel like I've seen that though? I mean, I've seen 69 cartwheeling in a non-sexual way. Like that you can do that. You grab someone's fucking feet.
yeah.
Which-
if I was a gymnast and so was Marco, I feel like I would want to do crazy stuff like that because I'm like, if your body can take it, then why not? But unfortunately, Marco is disgustingly freakishly tall and his body does not abide by the laws of nature or physics. So I don't think that's possible for us, unfortunately.
I feel like his limbs would just snap like pretzel sticks. You know?
Yeah.
If he tried to do anything like limber, because he's just such a stick man. He's like if Slender Man were real and very German.
Well, he's like the stick bug from A Bug's Life.
Isn't a stick bug? So he has like 6 arms?
Yes.
Oh, twins.
Just like me.
Aw.
That's why I married him.
That's really cute.
We had a really nice sense of solidarity between us because we know how hard it is.
Yeah. I always think about like if I was incredibly flexible.
I don't think I have that range of motion. Like I feel like any semblance of flexibility I have was transferred 100% into my double jointed elbows and my double jointed thumbs.
Yeah, your hiker's thumb, your hitchhiker's
My
thumb.
hitchhiker's thumb and my disgusting hyperextended elbow.
Yeah, I don't have any special gifts. I was a GATE student, a gifted and talented.
Me too.
But that doesn't spell GATE. Gifted and talented education, I guess.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about though.
What a fucked up program though.
That was so fucked up. Like, did you have like early bird and late bird stuff?
I don't know.
Where they basically, like at my school, they separated the classes into like this group of kids comes in early and like this group of kids comes in like later in the afternoon. And it was only for like kindergarten and like first grade or something.
Yeah.
But
I should have been a
basically
late bird.
the dumb kids were like in the morning, the early birds, and like the smarter kids were the late birds.
That was their punishment. The smarter kids get to fucking sleep in.
Yeah, exactly. I figured that out. I was like, oh, the kids who aren't very smart are going early.
Which one were you?
Early? No, I'm kidding. I was a late bird.
Oh my God. I fucking hated school. I wanted to get out as soon as possible. I was like counting down the years. And then once I left, I was like, I have no intention of coming back. Because then I was like,
No,
I
I
could get my
know.
master's in psych. But that's not what I wanted. And I didn't want to be thousands and thousands of dollars in debt.
Oh
for
my
the rest
God,
of my
dude.
life.
At least in my field, the internet is full of resources. And like, I don't need to go spend thousands and thousands of dollars on
Yeah.
a fucking master's degree when I can just watch a fucking 20-minute YouTube video.
It almost feels like a scam.
Yeah, it kind of is, honestly. There are fields where getting a master's degree makes sense or like getting a
Sure.
PhD makes sense. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be a fucking doctor, like that, whatever.
Nah, you know what? I think being a doctor is one of those things you can just wing. Like, if
Yeah,
you have it, you
just
have it.
Google it, right? Like, who cares? So,
You know, I can tell when an arm is broken. It's not
yeah.
rocket science.
I mean, I can't, but, you know.
well, you thought you cracked your ribs. So.
I should have Googled it. But you know, like Marco got his master's in engineering. And I think that helped him in his field.
Sure.
You
Well,
know?
engineering is one of
It's
those things
so
where it makes
different.
sense. But like if you're in a fucking creative field, man,
Oh my God,
just
yeah.
be good at what you do.
Yeah, don't fucking put yourself in financial debt just to learn shit you could literally learn online. And I'm not even like exaggerating. Like there's so many resources online. Like
Just-
and just online classes that are like $10,
Yeah.
you know?
You know what? In fact, stop going to school.
Yeah, drop out right now.
Never come back.
Run away, move to a different country, get a fake passport, fake your death.
Become a mercenary.
Right.
Change up your life a little bit. Develop dissociative identity disorder. Get possessed by an Egyptian god.
Accidentally murder your wife's father and then don't tell her until you're actually married.
And then get shot by a cult leader. Just simple things.
It's the little things in life, you know?
Just be Oscar Isaac and your life will be fucking great.
Uh-huh.
If you're not watching Moon Knight, definitely check it out. Or generally Oscar Isaac's work because he's actually incredible.
He's so good. Ever since I found out that him and Pedro Pascal are like best friends, my life has never been the same. In fact,
really
I
cute.
feel like my depression was cured.
I'm really bummed though because now that you bring up Pedro, I realized we were going to go see the Nick Cage movie with Pedro, but we didn't end up seeing it. And I think maybe we'll just wait till it comes out to rent because it looks fun and it looks funny, but like I also just spent $20 again. As I say, I'm poor, but you save up for important shit. We're going to go see the Multiverse of Madness this weekend.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
No, I'm going to cry and piss and shit. I don't know what to expect and I'm actually kind of happy about it.
It's so weird because I feel like that just came out of nowhere. Like I think we kind of talked about this before too, where we were like, oh my God, like I feel like we've been waiting like 2 fucking years.
It does feel like that because when Loki came out, I remember being really excited. The show, and then
What was
thinking-
first, Loki or WandaVision?
WandaVision came out first, and I knew that Multiverse of Madness was coming, but I think Loki got me more excited because it was the first introduction into the multiverse in that way.
Right.
And then it was like, oh my God, it's not going to come out for another year, and it's
Yeah.
fucking been a year practically, which
Oh
is
my God.
insane.
I know. It's so weird.
The podcast didn't even exist when Loki came out. Guys, we're so
It was just
young.
a twinkle in our eyes.
A twinkle in our dad's ball sacks.
To quote our most recent Let's Play, which you should watch.
Oh my God. Also, can I toot our own horn? Jillian is an incredible editor, and we just recorded some Mario Party stuff for our recent Let's Play thing, and Jillian did an incredible job editing, like down to the specifics of because I would make jokes in the game and I would be like, can you edit in Nick Cage's face fading in with like creepy fucking music? And she did it exactly how I wanted without us even talking about it. Like, because we share the same brain cell. And it was just really fun to watch back. I think I just wish we could have teamed up because Birdo was a massive cunt.
Well, let's do that next time. Let's do teams.
Okay. I can't stand that bitch.
But we should make the CPUs like super hard.
Are you fucking with me? Okay. If we're on a team, then that's fine because I think it'll balance
That's
out.
what I'm saying.
Well, speaking of Birdo being toxic and awful, we have not been able to stop discussing this because it's so insane what's been going on, and I just want to like briefly talk about it, I guess. But the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp case and everything going on with that.
It feels surreal. Like the fact that it's even televised, first of all, is kind of wild to begin with.
And there's people talking about muffins and vaping in their car and their shit in a bed. Like,
If I have to see another fucking fan cam edit of Johnny Depp being #savage put to Wii Music background stuff, I'm gonna blow my fucking brains out.
yeah, what I'm seeing so far is that Amber doesn't have the evidence admissible in court to prove all the things that she claimed that Johnny did to her. Based on her personality disorders, it's likely that she falsely accused him of things. Not
And
to say
is ironically being exposed as like the instigator in a lot of these claims that she's made.
yeah, and there's contrarily a overwhelming amount of evidence in Johnny's favor showing that like physical abuse, like he's missing the tip of his finger from a bottle that was thrown at him.
Yeah.
All the witness testimonies. So again, the jury's still out on what the final verdict is, but people are making it out to be a case of like, oh, the decision is like who's the worst person, but it's not. That's not what the fuck this case is about. Like people are arguing over Twitter of like, well, Johnny said this racist shit and he groomed Winona Ryder, and then other people are like, well, Amber's racist too, and sure, I don't argue that. Maybe they're both fucking awful people, but the point of this case is Amber said alleged things that Johnny Depp did to her in a public article that caused him to lose jobs. And so he's suing her for defamation.
Right.
And so the whole point of the case is to decide if like the things that she said about him were true or if she made it up. That's it.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, well, who's canceled or not.
Right. And that's what people are making it out to be in a certain way, at least on Twitter. And I think, I don't know. I think what gets to me the most, though, is if you look at Amber's profile on Instagram, she has a still of her talking to some senator about like #believing survivors. And just the cruel irony of that being, if it's been proven that she has lied about this, about being a quote unquote survivor, the hypocrisy of that whole thing and painting herself as being some like champion of this movement when she's done so much fucking damage.
Yeah.
If it is the case that she lied.
It sucks too seeing the flip side of that, where I feel like a lot of men in particular who might have felt like they were under attack or their gender was under attack because of the Me Too movement, they are now using Amber being a potential abuser as like a scapegoat to just be super fucking misogynistic.
Yeah. The way people are celebrating her allegedly being like a piece of shit is a little much, like with the fan cams and stuff and the Nintendo fucking music over these edits of Johnny Depp laughing or making comments in court.
It's just weird. Like,
Yeah.
or people who were like, oh, Johnny, like smiling through the pain, like, oh, beautiful cinnamon roll. He's so innocent. It's
Right.
like, get help.
No one is perfect. And to paint this as like a one-sided thing of Amber is just the evil person and Johnny's never done anything wrong in his life is
Also
misled.
We are talking about abuse.
Yeah, it's not a fucking joke. It's not a TV show. I mean, they're painting it as one.
Yeah.
I mean, her lawyers are so goddamn bad, though.
They're comically awful, and that's really unfortunate for her.
But also, like, who would have done better? If there's no evidence in your favor, like, you can only do so much as a lawyer.
Yeah.
But the amount of time that they spent arguing about muffins and
just objecting to themselves even.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not looking great. Not to get all fucking serious, as like a Me Too victim, you know?
I think to a certain extent we're all survivors in a certain way. I know very few women who haven't been assaulted. I've personally dealt with shit. You've dealt with shit. Everyone I know has dealt with shit. Like, this is a common thing for women to have to deal with.
Yeah. It's just, I just feel like it should be treated a little more seriously, because I feel like when people are sitting there making fucking like wee edits, it's just painting it out to be so like it's entertainment, you know?
Right.
It's like, I'm like, they're fucking people. They're still people.
They're clearly
at the end of the day.
miserable in their own lives.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot of bullshit. They've,
They both
shit
need
about each other.
some fucking therapy.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like with events like this that happen, it's almost like you have to pick a side, and whatever side you pick is like, it's assumed whatever your other beliefs are based on the side you pick. And so it was like the same thing that happened with the slap with Will Smith. It's like, if you disagree with Will Smith going on stage and slapping a person, you're labeled as like, oh, well, you must be on the conservative side, because it was like a bunch of conservatives took the side of being against Will Smith. But I don't think that has to make you fucking Republican because you don't think it's okay for someone to go on stage and slap a person because of a joke.
Yeah.
But then it was almost like, well, if you aren't pro Will Smith slapping someone, then you're not actually a fucking liberal. And like, bringing all these arguments into something that is objectively like not okay for anyone to do.
Yeah.
You can argue about, like, in any other scenario, you take it outside in your own personal space, but like at a fucking award show
that's being televised.
And if you don't have the self-control to be able to stop yourself from like physically hitting someone in front of like all of your peers and not think about like the repercussions of that decision, I just feel like it speaks volumes about like what you have to work on as a person, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think it's just, there's this general politicization of everyday events. It's like, well, if you're supporting Johnny Depp, that just means you're a stan and you just like him as an actor.
Right. And you're sexist and you hate
women.
And
like,
you don't believe survivors. It's like, whoa.
Just the assumptions being made are kind of insane.
It's like, by the way, these two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
That being Amber Heard and Johnny Depp are both terrible people, and that she fucking lied about the extent to which he did things to her. Because he could have said some shit that was mean or awful or whatever, or slammed some fucking counters or whatever.
Yeah, he slammed the counter. He physically picked up the entire counter.
Yeah, he body slammed. He like suplexed it. But like, those two things can exist at the same time. It's not like an either or, and it's also, like you said, it's not like who's worse. Like, let's see, like weigh the scales. You know?
And people who are like pro Amber Heard or just generally believe all women, which again, I think it's like the wording of certain things, because believe all women assumes that no woman is ever going to make false accusations. And I've witnessed personally abusive relationships with women being the abusers, and it's fucking awful. And like, so men do get abused, and generally, yeah, of course, statistically, you're going to believe most women because of all the women I know who've dealt with this shit. But at the same time, if you're a feminist and at the same time discredit men who are apparently our equals for them saying that they were abused just because they're men, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a lot more nuanced, and I'm just kind of sick of seeing these quote unquote hot takes on Twitter that are just people ignoring huge swaths of the argument. And
unfortunately, I think it's really easy for people to project their own experience and traumas onto situations like this, and like, it makes sense, right? Like, obviously it happens a lot and people can relate. Like, I can relate. So
sure.
But then you kind of have to like recognize that within yourself.
Be self-aware
and say, hold on, like I'm projecting. And I think a lot of people just have a hard time doing that, which I understand. It's not easy to recognize your triggers like that. But when you're so closely related to that issue or have experience with that issue, like you're
not
obviously biased.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to take like an objective take on it. And I think that what's so frustrating to me, I think a lot of people aren't aware of their own biases and they're unable to like separate themselves from them to look at things in an objective way, which is like if you take any kind of science class or psychology class or whatever dealing with the sciences, like you have to look at things as objectively as possible and not let your bias kind of prove your point for you. Like you want to be able to take a step back and look at the nuances of things. And that's why it's a fucking court case. That's what court cases are for. You look at the objective evidence of what's being presented.
There's a fucking jury that is being presented with this evidence who is going to decide the outcome. So it's like, who the fuck are we to sit there and say, ah, yes, Johnny Depp smiled and twitched his mouth, therefore he is innocent. It's like, that's so...
I think people are kind of seeing what they want to see, and it's a little cringe seeing all the Johnny Depp stands.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, funny pirate man from my childhood. Oh, he's innocent.
Yeah, it's bad because then it's like you see that shit with fans of other people who have also been condemned for abusing people or sexually assaulting people, like Ansel Elgort having that whole thing where a previous girlfriend accused him of rape, and then like women still thirsting after him in the comments. And it's like, if you turn the table around to look at people kind of doing the same thing for Johnny, except in this case it's going to court and the evidence is being laid out. I think it's almost like, I think this might be a good time for us to all take a step back before we publicly condemn someone based on accusations, because I think for the past few years it's been kind of a public, like a mob mentality of condemning someone without actually looking at the facts or knowing the whole story. Because the amount of shit I'm seeing on Twitter of people just spreading misinformation without the full context is fucking disgusting. And then people absorb these opinions based on misinformation and they form their whole identity around it. I'm like, this is why the court exists, not to say it's not biased or rigged in certain areas, but you have to look at things from like a diplomatic perspective and lay it out in like a procedural way with as little bias as possible, because otherwise it turns into a fucking witch hunt.
It sucks obviously too, because it's so nuanced, you know, like there are situations unfortunately where there's just not enough evidence to go after the perpetrator, and in those cases then those people get away and it fucking sucks, you know. But in the case where you do have the evidence, like absolutely fucking fuck that person.
Like I don't have any problem with people canceling a person in their own mind and choosing not to support them anymore. Yeah. It came out that a bunch of women were saying that Chris D'Elia had sort of groomed them, or that he was generally being creepy and he had cheated on his wife. I immediately just stopped watching his shit, because I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't think he was funny enough to continue watching, knowing that he could have done this shit. For me, it was an easy decision to be like, I'm not going to support him. I'm fucking done, and I don't feel bad about it, and I'm not going to mourn the quote unquote loss of this quote unquote comedian.
Yeah, dude, it's like fucking J.K. Rowling too. Like,
God, that one's so awful though.
She's shitty and she's transphobic and she's fucking stupid, you know.
Jillian Bacos 2022.
Yeah, that's right. It's like I have no problem not supporting Harry Potter. I did grow up, like my dad would read us the books when we would go to bed, and I would see the movies when they came out, whatever, like. But I am able to separate my good childhood memories from the fact that if I actively am supporting Harry Potter, I am supporting J.K. Rowling directly, because she makes a fuck ton of money. And guess what? When you support the movies that come out, when you support the video games that come out, you are telling these companies that you want more, that the consumers want more of this product. So it will continue to be made. There will be more movies, there will be more games. So you are actively supporting her. It's like, I have no fucking problem saying, you know what, I'm good, love. I don't need wizards in my life.
Fuck that little scarred glasses ass freak. And meanwhile she's JK rolling on the floor laughing. So,
that's right, in her millions and millions of dollars. Like, I think she'll be okay if a few people stop supporting her.
I mean, look at Ben Shapiro. That's his whole job.
Yeah.
I watched a whole video the other day about someone kind of tearing apart his argument. He he had this video from some podcast that he has about how like Nickelodeon is trying to program your children into accepting trans people, because there was a cartoon around like Pride time, and he literally said at the end of the video, it was a whole like fear mongering thing of basically like, he said at the end of the video, they will literally come for your children.
Oh my God.
Which is like so transparently just fear mongering.
Yeah.
I guess there was a case where there was a deadbeat dad who was transphobic of their kid and didn't call her by her pronouns or name, and lost custody of her, not because of that,
right,
but because he was a deadbeat dad and wasn't paying child support, was emotionally abusive, whatever. But then conservatives spun that as like, oh, well, if you don't call your kid by their pronouns, they'll take that kid away from you.
Exactly.
They'll literally come for
they'll
your
call
children.
it child abuse and they'll take her away,
which is just not the truth. And this is what's so fucking frustrating, is like, people like Ben Shapiro are explicitly not painting the full picture. So people can conflate it with whatever narrative they have in their head. And like conservatives who knowingly conflate sex, biological sex, with gender, because they'll say shit like, well, biology is biology. Like, facts are facts.
Oh my God, dude. It's so funny when you see transphobes accidentally being like pro-trans.
I know.
Because there was this video of this trans man on TikTok, and he's pretty buff, and he has like a beard and everything. And he was talking, he's like, oh, I'm trans. And then someone was like, you'll never be a woman no matter how hard you try. And he was like, well, yeah, thank you.
What? Because oh my God.
He was female to male.
There's a trans man, and someone said you'll never be a woman.
Yeah, because the fact that he mentioned he was trans, they were assuming that he was a man transitioning to female.
Jesus Christ.
But it was the opposite.
You.
So he's like, yeah, thank you so much.
I really appreciate your support.
Yeah, you're really affirming my gender right now. I just thought that was so fucking funny. And that happens all the time.
It's so nuts, though.
Also, why the fuck do they fucking care? Like, I'm so sorry. Like, do you have nothing better to do than to worry about what people refer to themselves as, or like what's in their pants? Like, it's fucking weird. Like, get a fucking hobby.
They literally have nothing better to do. Like, that is their hobby. Just hating on people.
Harassing people.
I was telling you that when I went to school at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, shout out, you fucking pieces of shit. You let this shit happen. This was the school also that had one of the fraternities have a fucking blackface party. But Milo Yiannopoulos, or whatever the fuck, the guy who's like a gay Republican who basically just goes and does quote unquote comedy shows where he literally just bullies people like in minority groups.
Yeah.
And I knew people who went to that show, and they had like a live taping of it, and they were just laughing at him basically saying trans people aren't real people. Like, just saying things that aren't funny and are just straight up mean, and people were laughing and having the fucking time of their lives. And I was like, imagine just being a bully for a living with no greater social purpose other than to just cause controversy and make yourself money.
It's so cringy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you built your platform off of being a hater.
Congrats on being the token gay for the Republicans.
Yeah, fucking
so they
the
can
Candace
use you.
Owens of gay people for Republicans. Like, it's
just incredibly cringy. And then the whole like, facts don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. I'm like, you're ignoring the facts, my guy, and letting your feelings of fear run your fucking life.
Yeah, it's super stupid.
It's embarrassing. Everyone
embarrassing.
Go send testicle lipped Ben Shapiro your hate. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
We're not saying you should.
We're not saying he has testicle lips.
It's a free country.
No, you can send him hate. I just can't legally say he has testicle lips.
That's hearsay.
No, but I saw a stupid video someone had posted, like commenting on something he said, and immediately just made the realization that his lower lips look like a pair of saggy balls.
Ugh.
It's disgusting.
He grosses me out.
And people find him hot. People have like Daddy Ben Shapiro fucking stan accounts.
Ew.
They make edits, dude.
I'm going to throw up.
He does this thing where he's like, does somebody order tickets to the gun show? And then he'll fucking flex for the camera. And all the women in the comments are like, oh my God, breed me. Like, impregnate me with your seed.
I am going to throw up.
Dude, can you tell that we were on one today? We had the whole talk about like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case in the coffee shop this morning, and then fueled ourselves up with caffeine. And
Amber Heard, more like Amber Turd.
more like Amber wish I never heard of ya. So topical, so relatable. That's the name of our show. We try to be funny, I think, sometimes, but at this point I'm like, sometimes I just want to talk about random shit on the podcast, and also like not.
It's our podcast. We can talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, one listener. No, but if you want to laugh, check
Go
out.
look at Ben Shapiro's testicle
Go
lips.
look at Ben Shapiro's testicle lips. But no, go check out our recent Let's Play of Super Mario Party.
Yeah, the next 2 episodes are coming out this week.
Yeah, Super Smash Party Mario Bros.
Super Mario, Shardy, it's your birthday. Go Shardy, it's your birthday. We're gonna party like it's your birthday.
What was
we
it?
sipping Bacardi like it's your birthday.
What was that song that we were singing in the beginning that we decided to not open with? Oh, she's a runner, she's a track star. She rides my dick until it gets hard. We hope you have a wonderful first week of May. It's gonna be May.
Oh my god, I gotta pay rent.
I just did, and I have no money left, so I'm doing great.
I gotta fucking get checks because my fucking archaic landlord only accepts checks.
You dinosaur of a landlord.
I have to give her exactly all my rent's worth in checks mix.
1 cent, two checks,
three checks.
Dude, help me and Jillian pay our rents. If
Send us checks mix.
Yeah, send us checks mix. If you're feeling generous, though, you can donate on our Patreon account. The link is in our information. And you know what? I think I just want to go ahead and do, while we are still kind of new to this, do a little shout out again to our one patron right now. Lindy has been our shining star since day one, and we want to give her a little shout out. And I think we're going to do that until we have so many patrons that we can't physically name all of them.
Yeah.
But we hope you guys have a great week. And email us if you guys have any topic suggestions, if you want to share your weird creative sex positions, your thoughts on Amber Heard, Johnny Depp case, all that good stuff. You can DM us on Instagram, email us at relatablepodcastshow@gmail.com. And yeah, we will see y'all in a couple weeks.
Bye.